Hello there, this is Rhoneil Abyss, what I like to call my main OC. I'll get to that later. After introducing you to Autumn Tempest, I created a poll on what OC you want to meet next. And not surprising, Rhoneil Abyss won by 92%. I knew he would win because his name being almost exactly as my channel's name. If you didn't know, it's called Timeless Abyss, and perhaps knowing the new release of my new book, Reality, which Rhoneil is a protagonist. Since he has the same illnesses as me, I'll try to briefly explain what each illness is toward the end of the video. So in that case, watch the whole thing if you want to show off that you know more than your teachers, parents, or whatever. Because some of these illnesses, unfortunately, aren't even aware enough for the majority of the doctors to know. Well, at least that's my case. Alright, Rhoneil Abyss is my fourth OC I ever created back in early 2018, so he's kinda sorta new. His story idea was heavily influenced on the current situations then. Meanwhile, the vision came from a very first stage of sleep, like when you are in a very light sleep stage by sensing your surroundings while awake, even though you see things with your eyes closed. And after that, I immediately woke up and continued it in my head with the real situation influence. Then I replayed the story in my head over and over while making some minor and bigger changes in order to make sense of it. And now it's reality! This is my first time drawing his hair shorter than usual, and it was a pain in the rear. So yeah, you'll see me struggle with that. Also, this drawing is based off of him after Reality, and I don't use art as a profession, I just use art as a hobby, so I'm no professional. Rhoneil is a very personal character to me because he is basically me, but a male version, okay? He is shy, quiet, to sum that up, introverted, has the same illnesses. When he or someone he cares about gets offended, he fights back with truth. Some of you may have seen me in Roblox defending the heck out of somebody. Cough, cough, Sky, cough, cough. She witnessed this. Cough. Rhoneil is sensitive to what people say to him, especially when someone falsely accuses him, which happened a lot for him and I, and there are a ton of other things that I didn't mention. You've been subscribed to me. If you aren't subscribed to me, you get it. Of course, there are some minor changes to his personality. I made him say what I should have said to the narrow-minded people of Roblox, and is that it? I think that's it. I don't know. Maybe. Appearance-wise, yes, he looks different than I do. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to how I look, to be honest. Of course, since his universe is in sci-fi fantasy, he has superpowers that I obviously don't have. What are his powers? Well, I'm glad that myself asked. Rhoneil has galactic phoenix powers, or what I like to call it, celestial phoenix powers. His father, by coincidence named Orion, had galactic powers and used Constellation's skill to attack. Also mainly used a bow from Rhoneil claims is from Orion as a weapon. His mother, named Ignite, had phoenix powers. I'm pretty sure most of you know what a phoenix does, especially the ability to reincarnate and be on fire. Both Orion's and Ignite's powers created a celestial human phoenix. Well, that's an interesting description. Rhoneil has the ability to survive in things that could kill a regular person. The constellations are lives and/or chances that are granted to him from his father, and he has the choice whether to use the constellation in fights, which makes him lose a life if he does so. Rhoneil can transform into them because I always wanted to have the power to transform into animals and other humans. He can also manifest iridescent black and blue wings and make them disappear because wings can be in the way sometimes, you know. I drew his mother but never his father. I should sometime though. However, Rhoneil explains what Orion looks like, or people know what he looks like. They claim that Rhoneil Abyss looks like his father, like they look like brothers. I go through the same thing, Rhoneil. Random strangers come up to my mom and I and tell us how much we look so much alike and all, that we could be siblings. Meanwhile, neither of us see it. I mean, we look related, But I don't see how we look so much alike to be twins. I just never understand those strangers. I put zebra stripes on his jacket which represent EDS awareness. Then I color the stripes teal to represent dysautonomia awareness. The name Rhoneil is made up. I actually combined and was inspired by the names of 3 stars, not 2 Rhoneil, you would understand if you read the book. I combined 1 from the Phoenix constellation and 2 from the Orion constellation. The 1 star from the Phoenix constellation, his name is Rhoneil. I bet I really murdered the last part of his name, but focus on Ro. Then the 2 from Orion are Rigel and Alnilam. His last name Abyss came from my username on Roblox. I really liked the idea and wanted people to get the hint where this story was inspired from. And so that brings us to his middle name, Timeless. It also came from my Roblox name and had the same reason. Plus, I thought it would be snazzy to give his full name as Rhoneil Timeless Abyss. It really suits him and it would be natural for his parents to name him that way anyway, including the fact, of course, that he got his last name from his father, no dur. How is Rhoneil Abyss's story based on a true story when in sci-fi fantasy? Well, this is where it gets complicated, okay? Besides Rhoneil being based off of my personality, I did mention in some videos that Roblox and the natural disaster survival community really inspired me to make Rhoneil Abyss and write reality. Rhoneil Abyss also encountered what I encountered in real life. I wrote this one flashback in chapter 14 he had that is entirely based on a true story. Of course, I had to change the identification from her, she, to him, he, due to writing in first person a male protagonist. Also, I had to change some names in that section. Within that chapter, before and after the flashback explains my reactions to that flashback, then and sometimes now, I would tell you what I wrote, but I don't want to spoil anything. And I only want the readers to know first. That memory kinda, in a way, haunts me to this day. Even those thoughts of the topic in the chapter 14 stay with me. I'll just say this. I am frustrated with the people who didn't take the time to get to know me. The majority of them didn't have the patience and completely left me. However, some left but created stupid and false rumors about me. And those 2 situations happened like everywhere. Not just on Roblox, but it mainly happened in real life. And that's all I have to say for now. Read chapter 14 and you will understand. I almost said underestimate. You will understand. Oh my gosh, my stupid brain. Basically, my heart and gut spilled out as I wrote that chapter. Honestly, I had to say it was the most personal chapter I ever written, and I never shared that experience in any other way. When I write these stories, I write them as if I'm the protagonist, how they write with their personality, on how they think of the world, on how they see things. I become the protagonist that decided to sit down and write about their encounters. I enjoy entering into my OC's worlds and feel their emotions and physical pain. For Rhoneil, he writes how I naturally write. He expresses and describes things on how I like to express and describe things in writing. It was easier to write his story, however it was a challenge to be brave enough to expose situations that had to be translated into his world. The illnesses that Rhoneil and I share are hidden. However, there are a couple that show on command. I list the explanations of the illnesses to the least to most effective for us. Some could be a tie, mild asthma. I have mild asthma and Rhoneil has almost severe asthma. Why? Because Rhoneil has a lung deformation on his left side. Why? The hints is in the Intuition series and he was born that way. Also, the idea became a coincidence to the Intuition series and I was inspired by the zombie body package from Roblox because I used to wear that torso a lot. The lung deformation isn't really asthma, although Rhoneil does have pain and a hard time breathing when he decides to run and all. Mast cell activation syndrome. I sound very enthusiastic, even though it's not an enthusiastic topic. I recently got diagnosed with this when I went to the allergist to talk about my sharp pains in my lungs as I breathe and sing and talk. And yeah, then he decided to test and diagnose me with mast cell activation syndrome. So my knowledge to this illness is slim, but I'll try to explain my best of what I heard from my allergist. This illness makes the cells overreact toward an allergy, sometimes not even during an allergic reaction. If I scratch myself with my short, stubby nails, there will be red dots surrounding the scratch, and that what mast cell activation syndrome does like on the skin. For me, mast cell activation syndrome makes me itch for really no reason. Unfortunately, the itch is always in the bottom of my feet and it keeps me awake really late at night, and I'm very tickled. I never had hives and never experienced anaphylaxis before, but those are some of the symptoms for that illness. Perhaps I'm more prone to getting hives and anaphylaxis. I don't really know. Anyway, breathing problems that are like asthma is associated with mast cell. Now I'm wondering if I have both asthma and mast cell, or are they like together? Dysautonomia. The POTS version, the POTS version, the partial or the static tachycardia syndrome version. Okay, I put this one as second to last because it's not the leader, but it kind of is. I know I complain about this illness of mine a lot. However, it's like a tie along with the next one I'll talk about. Oh, but not yet. I have to explain this pathetic illness of mine, and Rhoneil's first. One of the pathetic illnesses, dysautonomia or POTS, has all of its symptoms as hidden. Those symptoms include fatigue, brain fog, nausea, tachycardia, orthostatic, pain in the chest, fainting, migraines, tunnel vision, irritability, depression, sensitivity to heat, and even more than that. Those symptoms that I mentioned are the main symptoms Rhoneil and I encounter every single darn day. And now you know why I don't really live stream anymore and take a week to upload a darn video. But I enjoy making videos. I really try, my people. I really try, Timeless Team. I really do. I may look fine, but I ain't. Rhoneil may look fine, but he ain't. My heart rate while sitting is usually 75 through 80 beats per minute. When I decide to stand, my heart rate boosts up to 125 beats. There are times that my heart rate went from 65 beats to 170 beats. I remember showing this during a live stream one time, and I recorded my heart rate and posted it on Instagram. The wings in the drawing basically came out of nowhere as I tried to write something and it made blobs. Suddenly I was like, hey, these look like wings. So I kept it that way, even though the bones aren't accurate. Oh well. Anyway, the heart rate boosting up that quickly from sitting to standing is called orthostaticness and tachycardia-ness. You know, that's called POTS. And that causes someone to be fatigued. Am I making sense? I hope I am. Dizziness comes with tunnel vision for me every day, and I'm pretty much used to it. Yep, and I'll probably explain dysautonomia in a separate video because I have a story to tell y'all. EDS type 3. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome type 3 hypermobility. I call this one the king of the other illnesses I have. EDS allows too much flexibility for joints, arteries, and organs, so it's like the boss of dysautonomia. EDS be bossing dysautonomia like, what are you doing? She's about to stand up. Pump that heart pumping now. EDS includes the skin being very soft and stretchy. I don't have to put lotion on, but you can bruise easily, and it takes a longer time for your wounds to heal. Also, you can dislocate your bone joints easily. I'm having major brain fog right now. Have joint pain and indigestion. If one asks what being double jointed looks like, I can simply show them by pushing my thumb down to my wrist. Also, my thumb bends inwards as I draw or write. You probably saw that in the very beginning of the video. My goal for reality is to spread awareness of hidden illnesses in bullying. I want the people who suffer from one or both of these things to know that they are capable of doing anything. Rhoneil Abyss suffers from these things, but he's a hero. I never ever heard a story about a hero who has hidden illnesses and struggles with them every day and manages to make a change for the better. And I don't call myself a hero, but I call Rhoneil Abyss a hero, so I guess that's the difference between him and I. He's a hero, I'm not a hero. I guess it's all point of view. If you want to buy reality, which I would really appreciate if you buy reality, because it has a lot of information about things and explores imagination and all whatever books do. The link is in the description and down below, okay? Description down below. Yeah. I'm not making any sense towards the end of the video. Wait, I am, but I'm not. I don't know. I am making sense. Jeez, you pessimistic thinking. I am optimism. Is that how you say it? Again, I will make a poll on my YouTube community page after this video gets uploaded. You get to choose between Flagon Auden or All-Star Stratus. Some of you may never even heard of them before. Just follow your instincts or the name that calls to you or whatever and bye.